Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are having a fantastic day. If you're new to the channel, my name is Parker Nierenstein. This is Vehicle Virgins, and today I'm gonna give you a tour of my car collection. First up, the Mclaren 600 LT. This is my 2019 Mclaren 600 LT, my favorite driving car that I have ever owned. It's finished in beautiful lantana purple, has every single carbon fiber option, and of course, my favorite option on the entire car, the MSO carbon fiber roof scoop. I am in love with that thing. Of course, we also have the 1016 Industries carbon fiber P1 style hood that looks crazy. And of course, the legendary top mounted exhaust that shoots massive flames from the factory. But the real reason I love this car is it is so good to drive. With a curb weight of just 2,850 pounds, it's one of the lightest cars in the world, especially for a modern day supercar. It feels so connected to the road, so raw, so emotionally invoking. There's nothing quite like the 600 LT. Let's take it for a rip, shall we? Oh my God! Oh my God! Behind the wheel of the 600 LT now. And oh my God, is it an unbelievable driving experience. So modification wise, I've only got 2 mods on the car so far, that 1016 carbon fiber hood and a tune from VF Engineering. So stock 3.8 liter twin turbocharged V8, making just under 600 horsepower. Now, we've got 700 horsepower in a car that weighs 2,850 pounds. It's actually terrifying. But all it took was one ride in the 600 LT at the dynamic launch of the car at Goodwood Festival of Speed for me to instantly be convinced that this was my next car. I literally ordered the car that day. The combination of the sound from that rear top exit exhaust, so raw, and I could feel how communicative the car was, even from the passenger seat. The suspension is rough. You feel every single bump. And now, actually being behind the wheel and having enjoyed the car for a while, the steering feel and the communication from the ground through the wheel is like nothing else out there. Then you add in the sounds that roof scoop makes above me, and whoosh, it is one hell of a sweet package. Just listen to this. It sounds like Darth Vader breathing. In terms of the future of the 600 LT, this is a car that's going to stay in my garage for a very long time. Now, downpipes just showed up to VF Engineering for the car, which is gonna give it an extra 50 or so horsepower. With race gas, we might be pushing close to 800. So there's the Mclaren 600 LT, the best driving car in my garage. Let's go back to the house and pick up the next one. But before we move on to the Ferrari, I gotta give a special shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Cove Speakers. I've had this Cove speaker for over a year now and absolutely love it. I use it when I'm chilling with friends in the backyard, while filming B-roll for reviews, and even sometimes, because it fits in all standard cup holders, I'll bring it in the Ferrari because, well, this sounds way better than the Ferrari speaker system. The Cove speaker sounds awesome. It's super portable. It even has an indoor and outdoor mode, and the X-Bass subwoofer has a good amount of bump to it. It can easily connect to your smartphone, your tablet, or your computer via Bluetooth up to 30 feet away. And with an 8-hour battery life, you almost never need to charge this thing. But the best part is, because you are a Vehicle Virgins subscriber, by clicking the link in the description below and using promo code Vehicle Virgins, you're gonna get 65% off the Cove speaker. Seriously, 65% off. You're getting the best quality speaker on the market for $75. You really can't beat that. So pick up one of these after the video's done. Supporting Cove, who helps support Vehicle Virgins, is just gonna mean better content on the channel. All right, it's Ferrari time. Actually, you know what? Let's take the Mercedes first. Next up, we got my daily driver for the past 2 years, my 2018 E63 S AMG. I did European delivery with this car, which I highly recommend. Took delivery of the car in Germany and drove it on the German Autobahn. It's such an incredible mix of power, comfort, luxury, and refinement. Oh man, I love this car. This is actually the first car that I ever ordered from the factory. It's got selenite gray Magno paint, every single carbon fiber option, and the interior is unbelievable. The interior of this car is absolutely breathtaking. The ambient lighting. Oh yeah, and the speaker system rotates as you turn the car on. Like, what other car does this? That is a pretty cool view in the backup camera. One of the craziest parts about the E63 is its launch control. The car is all-wheel drive. Well, actually, it has variable all-wheel drive, which I'll talk about a little more in a bit. Stock, it makes 603 horsepower, but because this has been tuned by VF, it makes 740, which means 0 to 60 happens in 2.7 seconds, but the off-the-line grip is horrifyingly epic. Race start, go! Oh my God! Not only is the E63 super fast in a straight line, but it's also an absolute blast in the canyons as well. The grip levels are absolutely crazy, and for such a heavy vehicle, they did such a good job at making this actually feel fun to drive. The steering feel is great. The multi-clutch transmission, this has a 9-speed transmission, shifts unbelievably fast. It's got an incredible exhaust note, and honestly, I'm having trouble thinking of a better daily driver than this car. This is the only car in my lineup that I don't own, so to speak. It is a lease, and the lease ends in 2 months. So I'm frantically trying to figure out what on earth to replace this with. They just released some spy pics of the new M3. I'm curious what you guys think of that car. New M3 could be a cool replacement. X5M, X6M, there's so many good options out there. I don't know what to do. One thing is for sure though, I'm gonna miss this car when it's gone. The interior, the self-driving technology, is something I love about being able to relax and have this car steer itself in the lanes. And then of course, that variable all-wheel drive. So this car, yes, it is all-wheel drive, but if you turn traction control all the way off, put it in manual mode, put it in race mode, you can put it into drift mode by pulling both paddles at the same time and then confirming, and then it's fully rear-wheel drive for crazy drift. So it really is the best of all worlds. All right, let's get the Supra. Now it is time for the Supra, the car that has exceeded my expectations and all of my friends more than any car I have ever owned. Well, here it is, guys, the newest addition to my fleet, the 2020 Toyota Supra. I originally got this car because I wanted something a little bit more relatable for the channel and something that'd be really easy and fun to modify, and also a car that I could potentially work on myself. But man, has it turned out to be so much more than that. In person, the looks, especially the rear end of the Supra, is amazing, and it's actually really, really fun to drive. And after some modifications, well, it sounds incredible. Let's take it out. So far in the Supra, I've self-installed an AFE downpipe, and VF has tuned the car from 335 horsepower to closer to 450. Listen to how crazy this exhaust sounds. Oh my God, those pops! How can you not love that? All right, you can complain all you want about how the new Toyota Supra is way too much a BMW and how they've ruined the car and it doesn't look nearly as good as the FT1 concept, but the fact of the matter is, it is unbelievably fun to drive. The handling is fantastic. It predictably slides everywhere. It's got this loose rear end that just makes the car so playful and fun. And the other truth of the matter is, because of the co-development, and it wasn't even the co-development, they basically just purchased the powertrain from BMW, it saved Toyota so much money, so much R&D, so much time, it's possible we wouldn't even have a modern day Supra if it wasn't for that partnership. But all I'm saying is, this car has blown my mind and exceeded my expectations so much. No, it doesn't handle like a supercar, it doesn't go as quick as a supercar, but the B58 engine from BMW is unbelievably strong, has so much capability in terms of modification potential. As we've seen from Papadakis Racing, they're planning on pushing over 1,000 horsepower. Yes, we need forged internals at that point, but people have made 680, 700 wheel, 800 wheel on that motor with stock internals on a BMW. And now we're gonna see what happens in the Supra platform. And the sound it makes is so good. This is what BMW is missing, honestly, in the M2 competition, the sound. And to me, I'd take this over an M2 competition any day of the week. Future plans for the Supra. I'm gonna be keeping the car for a while. There's gonna be tons, limitless amount of modifications. We've got the larger upgraded turbo at VF right now that Pure sent, so we're gonna be making more power, tons of supporting mods for that turbo so everything's safe, keep the intake air temperatures down. Yes, we're gonna be getting wheels. At one point, we're gonna do a wide body kit. The reason I haven't jumped on that right now is I don't wanna do the Pandem wide body kit that everyone else is doing. It looks very cool. If nobody else had it, I'd totally go for it. But I wanna wait till SEMA, see what offerings there are that are available, so it's a little bit more unique in the YouTube world, considering basically every YouTuber at this point has a Supra. I want it to be different. All right. It's Ferrari time. Easily the most breathtaking, beautiful, and best sounding car I have ever owned. This is my 2015 Ferrari 458 Speciale Aperta. Based on the Ferrari 458, already one of the best driving cars in the world, the 458 Speciale is the track-focused, lighter weight, more hardcore version of that. And the Aperta, well, that's the hardtop convertible version of the Speciale. And they only made 499 of these. Not only is it incredibly rare and beautiful, it is unbelievably good to drive. And that 4.5-liter V8 sounds so good, it actually is ridiculous. Just look at the interior. Everything is carbon fiber and Alcantara in the name of weight savings. It doesn't even have a floor mat. But I think it's time to take it for a spin. I love the design of this carbon fiber floating bridge. That is crazy. The steering wheel itself is so pretty, feels so good in your hands. We've got the Manatino dial for different driving modes, start stop button, the turning indicators, and even an LED tachometer shift indicator light on the steering wheel itself. So let's go ahead and fire it up. Check this out. I mean, I'm sorry, but there are not many cars that sound better than this. So here's the deal. Even though this car is so beautiful and sounds so good, I wouldn't own it unless it was an absolute dream to drive, which it is in spades. The Speciale has some of the best driving dynamics of any car in the world. Now, part of the reason is that mid-mounted V8. It's the last naturally aspirated mid-engine Ferrari of all time, and it produces the highest horsepower per liter of any naturally aspirated car ever. 4.5-liter V8 that makes 597 horsepower. That's more horsepower per liter than an F12 TDF. The second component is the chassis. When you combine the steering with the suspension and the traction control, it just feels so good. The communication level is not quite there compared to the Mclaren. It's not quite as raw, but the steering feels incredible, and the traction control in this car is better than any other car I've ever experienced. The electronic differential and F1 traction control were developed simultaneously for this car and the Ferrari to allow the driver to experience a little bit of wheel spin, a little bit of slip angle when you're driving quickly around the canyons, and to control that in a way that feels fun. And honestly, it makes you feel like a pro behind the wheel of this thing when the tail slides just a little bit and you know you're still in control. Woo! Oh, I love this car. you enjoyed going for a ride in each of my cars. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. Join the Vehicle Virgins family because the content is just going to get better and better. As always, I look forward to seeing you